don't you sit on the end here?
So you or Jill?
No, just, I'm fine, just, everything's
Okay.
good.
Hey. At a meeting, so I thought I'm not gonna get home in time, so I just came over.
Video though, so I'm just gonna cut out the hallway.
So Jeff's actually on video tonight. No, he's at school, that's his room.
No, Jack, not Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, well, Jeff's at school.
Yeah. Is that the detention?
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Jeff.
I have a really nice laptop. I have a camera. I got everything. I'm at the high school, so
Yeah,
Lauren has a game. Lauren is playing tonight, so I thought I would come here and see if I can even get it to work, and then I'll run down to the gym and watch the ball game.
Is that the detention room?
that sounds like a good deal.
I think it's going to work out really well. So
Noah had a career high game on Saturday at the tournament. He got 17 points.
doing really well. I sort of keep track on with it all.
How's Lauren doing?
She's getting to play quite a bit, so that's the exciting thing. We weren't sure she'd get to play as much this year. She just, that's great, but it's going really well. So a lot of fun to not only go to the games, but then she's getting to play. So
Yeah, that's exciting. So she's on JV now?
she's on the varsity.
She's on
And
the-
So I was worried she just wouldn't be good enough to play, but a lot of opportunities, and I think tonight she might be able to play some, and they're playing quite a bit, so it's been fun to see. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Awesome.
Fun for her.
All right, I'm gonna mute everybody now, we're getting close, thanks.
Just want to say hello, everybody.
Hi, Mike.
I guess I gotta look back that way.
Hi, Sally.
We got 2 minutes left. Cindy, are you on?
She just went off, didn't she? There she is.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't get my picture up on my screen. I'm on.
Okay, we got you. Thank you.
Look at this, that's lovely trees in the background.
So just missing Josh.
Yeah, he's the only one not here. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the invocation. Jeff?
Let's pray. Father, we pause to thank you for this opportunity. I think of the unique times that we're in, all the efforts that are made by federal, state, and local officials to serve people. I just ask that, I'm wishing for their good. I just ask that you'll be with these officials and help them as they try to serve the people again during these unique times. And thinking about this board, I thank you for this board and the efforts that are made on a daily basis, meetings like this tonight to serve this community. I ask that as we look at tonight's business, we have humble hearts and sharp minds. In Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Jeff. I would ask that you all stay muted when you're not speaking, and of course, obviously, when you need to speak or respond, just unmute and then mute back up when you're done. It helps with the audio, so thank you. Let's start with a roll call. Cindy Dobbins.
Present.
Okay, noted virtually. Josh Finch, there he is. You hear Josh? Can you hear us? You present?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Virtual. Jerry Frush.
Here.
Thank you. Virtual. Jeff Gross.
Present.
Virtual. Mike Klondaris.
Present.
Virtual. Jack Wilhite.
Here.
Virtual. And Diane Quantz
Here.
in person. So we're all here tonight in one form or another. So thank you. Let's go to the approval of the minutes from the November 16th meeting, regular session of the council. Trust you've had a chance to take a look at those notes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes, or should they be approved as presented?
I make a motion, we pass the minutes as presented.
Motion made by Diane. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jerry, you're first. You seconded that. Okay. Let's go through our roll call vote. Cindy Dobbins,
Yes.
Josh Finch,
Sure.
Jerry Frush,
Yes.
Jeff Gross,
Yes.
Mike Klondaris,
Yes.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Minutes are approved 7-0. And then on to the approval of the minutes from the November 24th special budget session. Again, those were presented. Is there a motion to approve those, or are there any amendments or corrections needed to those? Is there a motion to approve?
I would move to approve the minutes from the special session. Cindy?
Motion's made by Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Is there a second?
I'd second it.
All right, Jack, second. Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Cindy Dobbins,
Yes.
Josh Finch, Jerry Frush,
Yes.
Jeff Gross,
Yes.
Mike Klondaris,
I will abstain since I wasn't there.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Yes.
Minutes are approved 6-0, or 6-0 with one abstention. All right. Well, you all sound good tonight. Everybody's got good working microphones. We can hear very well. So let's move in to the to our reports, oral and written communications. Lynn, you presented the fund report. Any comments on that?
No, I don't have any comments, so I'll take any questions if anybody has one.
Okay. All right, so without any unfinished business, we will dive into new business, and before I do, I want to give the number to those that are watching on Boxcast if there are comments during the public hearing. The phone number is 574-377-0287. 574-377-0287. We will take texting only. All right, thank you. So let's move into ordinance 2020-1201. This is an additional appropriation. This is a public hearing as well. By way of a little bit of background, this is money that was appropriated from the CARES Act, and it was administered through the state of Indiana, Indiana Finance Authority. All of these dollars that were appropriated had to be reimbursed. So we didn't just get an allocation and spend it. We had to spend the money and apply for the reimbursement, which is what we've done. So we actually spent money, and then relying on the reimbursement, we didn't authorize any spending until we had approval from the IFA. So, and that was part of the state's procedure. So as it shakes down, the amount of funding tonight, the $285,039.81, needs to be appropriated back into the budget. Probably the best way to look at this is emergency relief funds that we had not come our way, that had not been appropriated, that had not been a part of our budget, and this relief money was given to us by the federal government to react to the COVID crisis. So the use of these funds was very restricted, and obviously we had to follow those restrictions. We had to, as I'd mentioned earlier, apply. Any funding that we requested had to be approved by IFA before we could spend it. So what we're doing tonight is really just a little bit of cleanup. The money you all transferred back in at the second meeting in November, you transferred it back into the general fund, but that money needs to be appropriated because there are still things that it needs to be spent on, including public safety and several other projects or uses. And I'll go through how we've utilized this money. But that's really what we're talking about tonight, is just appropriating the money that we have been reimbursed, money that we've already spent, that the government has given us after we've gone through that reimbursement process. Now they're cutting the check. The check has been transferred into our funds, but it needs to be reimbursed, or it needs to be appropriated. So it requires an additional appropriation. So just to give you a rough idea of how these funds were spent, we spent roughly $107,000. So the total that we got was $484,742. That was our CARES Act allocation from the Department of Treasury that was run through the Indiana Department of Finance Authority, IFA. So that amount was $484,742. That's what we got. You remember earlier this year we partnered with the county to provide some of these funds for testing, as we were short on testing in the community. We also utilized about $107,000 for PPE, about $53,000 for testing, and there's still some bills coming in. We're looking at spending about $54,000 for online permitting process at the Building and Plan Department. Building modifications to improve safety in the COVID times, $37,000. We helped Baker Youth Club with some PPE and some Wi-Fi for their after-school programs, about $7,000. We've assisted Cardinal to the tune of about $28,000. They had an emergency situation as their staffing was being depleted by COVID, and they needed some emergency funds. Let's see, Cardinal Biva, and then Bowen Center. We've given $20,000 to Bowen Center for their testing. So the majority of this money seems to be testing and PPE. And then the remainder, right now, will be appropriated for public safety. We were given approval late in the process. Again, the Department of Treasury clarified the use of these CARES Act dollars and approved the use of these CARES Act dollars for public safety payroll. So we're in the process of this, all this money has to be spent by the end of the year. But that gives you a pretty rough idea. We've got roughly about $166,000 designated for public safety payroll. But if depending on the final amounts that come in on testing, there may be a little bit of reallocation, or the subcategories might change. One will go up at the other's expense, but the total amount will be the same. So this $285,039.81 is in our fund, but needs to be appropriated so we can make these final payments this year. Lynn, did I say that right?
You said everything right. The only thing I want to add is that the money that was left over it was specified by the State Board of Accounts that it had to be allocated back to the general fund. So that's why it's going into the general fund.
This whole process of this CARES Act money was very deliberate. It was very restrictive, and we're pretty much following the whims of how they want us to spend this money, how they wanted us to put what funds to put the money in, what funds to take the money out of. And again, there was a very strict process for approval here. So we're just pretty much doing the cleanup work here, if you will, to get this final amount appropriated into the general fund. So that being said, questions? Mike Klondaris.
Yeah, the money that went to Cardinal, did that go to pay for staffing?
Yes.
And we can do that?
Yes. They had emergency situation where their staffing was depleted from COVID, and it turned into a major concern for them. And I called and offered help because I knew they were in having some real issues.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Others? All right, so this is a public hearing, and unless the council has more questions, I will go to the public. There is a little delay here, so we'll be patient with these text messages. Again, the text message number is 574-377-0287, 574-377-0287. I will open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask for any of those wishing to speak on behalf of the petition and or against the petition to text any information in that they desire. So we'll wait. I'll probably wait about 4 or 5 minutes to see if we get any response.
While we're pausing, Lynn, when it goes into the general fund like that, then do we have to have another resolution to reallocate it where it belongs, or can you just do that?
It's already on this resolution where we are allocating it to.
Okay, so that'll cover both things.
We made a special appropriation in the council budget that just says, like, I think it reads CARES Act funds or something. to
Right.
that effect. So
Okay,
we can keep track of it.
okay, thank you.
And I would also like to add that this additional appropriation has to be entered into Gateway for the DLGF approval by December 15th. So please consider that tonight when you're voting.
Again, that number is 574-377-0287 to text in comments on the public hearing regarding the additional appropriation of the CARES Act funding into the general fund, the reappropriation into the general fund of $285,039.81. I'd just also make a comment that the state did not want cities leaving any money on the table, because this is one, maybe the only direct stimulus that cities and towns will appreciate through this pandemic, and leaving funds on the table would probably, could potentially cause problems for future consideration for the same thing. So the state was very purposeful in their deliberations, as was the Indiana Finance Authority, about utilization of all these funds for, again, PPE testing, modifications in the building, any emergency COVID-related items. And again, all these went through the state approval process. So we'll wait one more minute. I have no comments yet.
Mayor, did we use all the money, 100% of the money?
Yes. Well, what the money that wasn't spent on the PPE and the testing and all the other things is been allocated into public safety payroll. So that amount is being, the amount that's being utilized for public safety payroll will gradually come down a little bit as these other costs come in. But we don't have the final numbers because we're still waiting for some numbers so that we can do the reimbursements. Lynn will have a pretty good idea here probably in the next week or two where our final numbers are. In other words, how much of that money was allocated towards payroll, public safety payroll.
And this was all given to us from the state with the stipulation that we had to use it all.
This was a federal CARES Act stimulus package that funneled through the state to every local unit of government in Indiana, counties and cities. Each city, each county, each town was allocated a specific amount based on population. But again, the allocation had to be utilized only for approved COVID-related spending that was set up by the Department of Treasury. And the IFA, the state IFA, oversaw the process in Indiana.
And if I remember correctly, Mayor, it has to be used before the end of the year.
Yes. All right, I have not received any comments. It's been about 5-6 minutes, so I am going to close the public hearing portion of the meeting. If something comes in the next minute or two, we'll obviously take it because we're on a little bit of a delay. Again, 574-377-0287 if you have any comments regarding the additional appropriation of the CARES Act dollars that are back in the general fund. So we'll just wait a little bit, about 30 seconds more, and then we'll ask you all to consider the additional appropriation. All right, I'll turn it back over to the council for any final questions and consideration.
I'll make a motion, we pass ordinance 2020-1201.
Okay, the motion's been made by Diane to approve ordinance 2020-1201. Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Second by Councilman Jack Wilhite. Any further discussion or questions? All right, we'll take a roll call vote. Cindy Dobbins,
Yes.
Josh Finch,
Yes.
Jerry Frush, Jerry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Jeff Gross,
Yes.
Mike Clondaris,
Yes.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Yes.
All right,
Hearing that, we need
the
to have
motion is
this.
passed 7-0, and you do have the opportunity to suspend the rules on second reading if you so desire.
Hearing that, we do have to have this done before our next meeting. I'd make a motion that we suspend the rules to vote on final.
Motion's been made to suspend the rules and to vote, consider this on second reading. Is there a second?
Jeff Gross, second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, we will vote on the motion to suspend the rules. Cindy Dobbins,
Aye.
Josh Finch,
Aye.
Jerry Frush,
Aye.
thank you. Jeff Gross,
Aye.
Mike Clondaris,
I agree.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right, so now I'd ask for a motion to consider ordinance 2020-1201 on second reading.
Jeff Gross. Okay, Jeff Gross, so moved.
Moved by Jeff Gross. I heard a second or a first. Who was that?
Jack.
That was me.
Jack Wilhite, second. All right, any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Cindy Dobbins,
Aye.
Josh Finch,
Aye.
Jerry Frush,
Aye.
Jeff Gross,
Aye.
Mike Clondaris,
Aye.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, so the motion passed. Can you all mute, please? We're getting some background noise. Jerry, I think it's yours. Thank you. All right, thank you for that consideration of that. Let's move on to Resolution 2020-1201. This is a transfer of funds in the cumulative capital development. This is essentially a transfer of funds from CCD, repairs and maintenance, professional services and supplies, to capital improvements. There does appear to be an error on the accompanying letter from Ryan. It says that it's going to be transferred to CCD professional services, and it's capital improvements. So the classifications down on the ordinance are correct. So if you move down to page 2, you'll see that we're moving from, in 402, from 360, 310, and 230 over to 444. The amounts of 50, 9, and 15,000. So the transfer ordinance is to move funds from the professional side of the budget into the capital improvement side of the budget. And with that, I'll let Ryan take the microphone.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so essentially, we came to you last time to make a transfer into our professional services for one project, and now, and this should become a habit every year, we're funneling all of the rest of our current funds into our improvements other than the 444, and tying it into a large lining storm sewer rehab project. So this is just one way that we can utilize all the dollars that we've had appropriated to us in that fund for the end of the year, since we got to use it. So essentially, Brian can elaborate a little bit more on what we're working on with Wetzler, but by the end of the year, we'll have a PO attached to those dollars. And essentially, instead of having 96,000 for that project, we would add about 75,000 or a little less, 74,000, and we get to 170,000. And then the more money we have for this type of lining work, these contractors like Gypsies, once they come in, it's actually better for us to do more work because our demob and mobilization costs go down. But again, Brian can elaborate a lot better than I could on this stuff.
Brian, do you want to elaborate?
I'm trying, my mic went unmuted. We are working on a project where we're combining storm sewers, sanitary sewers into another big lining project.
Brian,
you're to the three, we did a couple of years.
your audio's not very good.
Early this year.
Can you hear me, Brian?
So we're just trying to get as much work into one project as possible, and so we want to utilize these dollars for storm sewers that we have found. Line, yes?
Yeah, you're very delayed. You're sounding better. You're sounding better now. Yes, you're sounding better now. If you want to try and re-explain that.
I'm happy. Okay, we're working on one large project with wastewater and stormwater sewer lines, trying to get another one on the street just for lining projects that we've identified that need attention. So we're just trying to get one large project where we can get the best pricing.
All right. Questions? Any questions of Ryan or Brian on the use of these funds for this capital improvement project? All right. So I'll turn it back to the council. Any thoughts? Any consideration for this transfer request, a resolution 2020-1201?
I always like it when we can leverage our funds and get the most out of the money that we spend. So I would make a motion that we approve.
All right, Michael, thank you. Is there a second?
I second that.
Jerry, thank you. All right. Any more comments before we vote? All right. Roll call vote. Cindy Dobbins.
Aye.
Josh Finch.
Aye.
Jerry Frush.
Aye.
Jeff Gross.
Aye.
Mike Klonderis.
Yes.
Jack Wilhite.
Aye.
Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Item number 3, I'll turn it over to Council President Jack Wilhite to present the council's nominations for board appointments. One appointment to the Plan Commission, 2 to the Redevelopment Commission, and 1 to the WCDC Board. So, Jack?
Okay, let's see. We had 4 council appointments to take care of this year. You said it was the
Plan Commission's 1. Yeah, and I think we'll entertain them separately. So if you want to just give us your nominee, the council's nominee to the Plan Commission.
Okay, well, Mr. Mayor, I think in our meeting, we had some miscommunication, because instead of plan, I was under the impression that we were doing BZA instead of plan.
I can check. It might have
So
been,
who's up for plan commission?
hang on. There might have been a typo on the agenda. I'll look. I've got the information right here.
It looks like you had an appointment in plan commission.
Let me try and find 2020 here. No, that's not. Okay. Jack, you are correct.
Okay, so these appointments are for the BZA, we'll do that one first, and then 2 for redevelopment and 1 for the WCDC board.
Yes.
The one for the BZA, Dan Smith is up for a new term, just put it that way. And I have talked to Dan. I've talked to a few of the council members just to see if there was any things that they would like to say about it. And I'll just open it up right now too to see what the council's pleasure is on that.
Well, I think what you should do is ask for a nomination, and then you can entertain that.
Okay, all right. Well, then let's go that way. I'll open the floor for a nomination for this position on the BZA.
Since Stan's in my district, I'll make that nomination.
Okay, I've got a second first. Go ahead, a second.
I'll second that.
I believe that was Jeff Gross.
Yes.
Okay. So having a first and a second, then we'll have a roll call vote.
Do you not want any discussion on it, Jack? Are you prepared to vote?
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's go ahead. You can tell I'm real good at this, huh?
That's okay. No, I thought you wanted some conversation, but if there's no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
If there's no further conversation, then, we can vote, but I'll leave that up to you all.
I have not heard from Dan. I assume, Jack, you have talked to Dan, he's willing to serve again?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
All right, are there any other comments?
I just say, I think Dan's been faithful to attending meetings and trying to keep up with what's going on, and takes his job seriously.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
And as we all know, it takes one term just to figure out things. So I'm sure he'll do a great job as secretary.
Yeah, just get your feet wet.
So there's a motion and a second for Dan Smith as a council representative to the BZA. Before I call the roll call, any final comments?
No more nominations?
Cindy Dobbins,
Yes.
Josh Finch,
Which is pretty long considering her Halloween costume.
Josh Finch, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
E.T. It's yes.
Thank you. Jerry Frush,
Yes.
Jeff Gross,
Yes.
Mike Klondaris,
Absolutely, yes.
Jack Wilhite,
Yes.
and Diane Quantz.
Yes.
All right, great, thank you. Now we'll move on. I believe it's a redevelopment commission.
Okay, so this is a term for 1 year, and Rick Snodgrass has been the council's choice for the past many years. And there's a few on here who are also on the redevelopment commission. I'd like to hear from them especially. Mike and Jeff, have you got anything to say?
We had a meeting today, and as is always the case, Rick always has input, whether it's questions or information, he always comes prepared. And I really can't think of a better nominee or a better member than Rick Snodgrass. He brings lots of years of experience. Very good member. I nominate him. Jeff?
Well said, Mike. I'll second that nomination. Thanks, Mike, for your comments.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. We're looking for 2 nominees. Is there a second nominee for 2 openings?
Did not announce, I thought we only had 1 opening for that one from the council. The other one was the mayor's, wasn't it?
Hang on here. I think we have some issues here on board pack. Let me see. We got 2 on redevelopment, 1 on plan, 2 on redevelopment, and 1 on WCDC board. I think
Oh, that's a total of 5.
1 on plan commission, 2 on redevelopment, and 1 on WCDC board.
I see my mistake.
It's
Is it
BZA.
Mike Londaris?
Yeah.
Is it council appointment?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate Mike, just like today, all kinds of questions, sharp as a tack in these meetings, and appreciate his service now for several years, I think. So if it's all right, I would like to nominate Michael also. You heard me, Mike.
Is there a second?
I can second that one.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Jeff.
So any further discussion on either of the nominees?
I can tell you that I really enjoyed being on the redevelopment commission. And I appreciate your nomination, Jeff, and I appreciate the council for letting me stay. It's been a pleasure and honor, and it's really a great group of guys, great group of citizens. Thank you.
Did Jack,
So do we still need 1 more nomination?
Josh was first.
Josh?
Who is that? Is there another nomination?
This is Cindy. Are we filling 2 spots or just 1?
2. The council has 2 appointments, one being filled by a council member and the other one being filled by
A citizen.
citizen, right. But they're council appointments.
Okay, so we need a citizen nomination too?
No, that's already been done.
Cindy, that would be Rick Snodgrass that's been nominated for the citizen position.
Okay, thank you.
And then Michael has been nominated for the council position. And I suppose we should probably ask if there are any other nominations. And not hearing any, I suppose we would go to a vote at that point. Is that right, Joe?
I would just ask that nominations be closed.
I'll make a motion, we close nominations.
I second that.
All right. So let's vote. Let's vote to close nominations. I'll do a roll call vote. Cindy Dobbins,
Aye.
Josh Finch,
Aye.
Jerry Frush,
Aye.
Jeff Gross,
Aye.
Mike Londaris,
Yes.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right. All right, we're going to vote for each individual. We'll start with Rick Snodgrass. Cindy Dobbins,
Aye.
Josh Finch,
Aye.
Jerry Frush,
Aye.
Jeff Gross,
Aye.
Mike Clondaris,
Yes.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right? And the second council appointment, Councilman Mike Clondaris to the Redevelopment Commission. Cindy Dobbins,
Aye.
Josh Finch,
Aye.
Jerry Frush,
Aye.
Jeff Gross,
Aye.
Mike Clondaris,
Sure, I'll vote for myself.
Jack Wilhite,
Aye.
and Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, so we have our nominee, our appointment to the BZA. We have 2 appointments to the Redevelopment Commission, and we've got 1 remaining appointment to the WCDC Board. Jack?
Okay, so Cindy Dobbins, Councilman Dobbins has been on this board for quite some time. And I think she's done a fine job. Cindy, is there anything that would you entertain doing it if you're nominating? I'm getting the cart before the horse, aren't I? Let's open up the floor for nominations.
I'll nominate that Cindy Dobbins continue.
And I would heartily second that.
All right, are there any other nominations?
I make a motion, we close the nominations.
Motion's been made to close the nominations. Is there a second?
I would say that.
All right, roll call vote on that. Cindy Dobbins? To close the nominations? Cindy Dobbins?
Yes.
Josh Finch?
Aye.
Jerry Frush?
Aye.
Jeff Gross?
Aye.
Mike Clondaris?
Yes.
Jack Wilhite?
Aye.
And Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right, and with Cindy's nomination being the only one, we'll just formalize it. All those in favor, Cindy Dobbins? I'll ask for Cindy Dobbins on a roll call vote.
I guess I might, I'll vote for myself.
Yes, you will. I appreciate that. Josh Finch?
Aye.
Jerry Frush?
Aye.
Jeff Gross?
Aye.
Mike Clondaris?
I can't think of anyone I'd rather have.
Jack Wilhite?
Aye.
And Diane Quantz.
Aye.
All right, thank you. That was a little cumbersome between a typo in the, on the agenda here, but I think we got through it, and I appreciate those nominations. Those members have all served the boards well, and happy to continue for another 4 years on Plan Commission, 1 year on redevelopment and WCDC. So that brings us to other matters that may come before the council.
I would just like to say thank you to those citizens that are masking up. As I've been out and about, I've seen increased compliance in the stores and the library, the post office, various places, even walking the trails that people have their masks with them and put them on when you get close to them. So I would like to say thank you to all those citizens that are working to protect both themselves and the citizens of our community.
All right. Thank you, Diane. And echo that as
I
well.
would echo that.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to add to that. The way Councilman Quantz put it was very appropriate. It's just the courteous thing to do, and we like to think that we live in a polite society, and that's being polite. We cough in our elbow. During some pandemic like this, we look out for each other by masking up. So I echo that.
All right.
This is Cindy, and I just wanted to give a big shout out, thank you to our community for shopping local at our small businesses. I've interfaced with other merchants, and I know my own experience over the past few weeks that there's a tremendous commitment among our community to try to help support our local businesses, our local restaurants, and the Chamber of Commerce with the Kosciuszko Cash it's really been an unbelievable response. So I can't tell you how grateful I am to the community.
Thank you, Cindy. Well said as much.
I'd also just like to give a shout out to our Parks Department. It looks beautiful, and I appreciate all the work that they put into it. And maybe things have been a little bit different this year with not having a parade or, you know, a big hoopla, but I've noticed people down enjoying the display at Central Park, and I appreciate all the work that they did to get that ready.
It looks very nice. It's beautiful. We were down last night. Okay, thank you, Diane. All right, any other items to be brought forward? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
All right, I'll take this by raise of hands. All in favor, say aye. All right,
Aye.
thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Go Tigers.
Thank you. Set that down. Okay.